So Nicole's been trying to get me to do a solo episode for a long time. I just can't do it. It's not my style. And haven't really thought about turning the air conditioner off apparently. But I've been thinking about why I can't do it. It seems a little vainglorious for one. I'm kind of a private person. So yeah, there's probably some what's it fragility, vulnerability there. You can't blame a bad show on a guest, right? I mean, I'm a pretty good host. I don't have bad shows, but you know what I mean. Um, or is it something else? Is it I'm literally in a room fucking talking to myself? That feels really bizarre. I don't know how you do this, Nicole. It weirds me out. It makes me highly uncomfortable. But she's been encouraging me to do it for a while, and so I thought, well, that's a good, that's something I ought to do. I ought to at least work toward it, but I didn't want to just do it, just to do it. I didn't really. I get it when people say, "What am I going to talk about on a podcast?" Well, it's easy when you got somebody to lead it, host it. If you're ever afraid about going on a podcast, if you go on with a good host, they'll take you they'll drive the car. You just got to be there for the ride, man, and then it'll all turn out. Ain't had a bad one yet. Had some crazy shit happen on and off camera, which is wild. Man, that shit won't ever be on film. That's unfortunate. But no, I needed the right message, but it had been weighing on me for a long time, and I just needed to formulate my ideas around it a little bit. But yeah, it's a weird thing to do. But anyway, all of that said, I'm doing it. Probably delete it. Probably won't ever see this. It actually makes it a lot easier. I'm just going to assume I'm going to delete this. But social media came out, and I'm always contrary to popular opinion. I always have been. I don't trust trends and fads and people, just the sheep chasing every little thing that goes along. So I've always been resistant to it. I've missed out on some cool shit doing that too, like Seinfeld. Like when it was popular, I was like, God, everybody likes it, so it's probably trash, which was the case in Friends. Don't kill me. But it was a shitty show. But anyway, I rejected social media. It came on, our band could have probably even used it, but I think we were all kind of past the age of that kind of technology. 40-year-old men are not fucking spending their time on Facebook, I don't think, unless they're looking at political shit, really. I mean, I don't know. All I can speak is for myself, but in was it probably year before last? It was October 23, I think, or maybe later. I started posting some stuff because I knew I was gonna probably start a podcast. I was already putting some music out on the Durham channel, but it was an interesting foray because I see social media covered a lot. People seem to think it's the real world, and people react to it like it's the real world when it's really the zero world. It doesn't actually exist. It's a cyber existence. I mean, you're not seeing these real people's families. You're seeing the best of them, right? I'm not going to post videos of me beating my wife. I don't beat my wife. It was a joke. Calm down. Jesus Christ, you people. But, you're not going to see the dark shit. Nobody's going to post. I mean, well, there's some trash on there too. But, in general, you're seeing the best of people. It's a good way to communicate. It's a tool, man. And I say this all the time. You can, with a hammer, you can build a house with it, or you can kill somebody with it. Social media is a tool. It's been a great tool for me because I've been trying to use it in a positive manner. All right. So it's all new to me. And I have found that humanity is absolutely too emotionally immature to discuss or even hear opposing viewpoints regarding politics and many other things. It's politics right now, or it used to be religion. Both are co-opted by radicals, in my belief. Not all of you, but a lot of you. But really anything. So, like, for this reason, I've really made the effort to eliminate like political shit on my social media posts. It was a big deal that happened. Somebody wouldn't come on my show because I had a MAGA hat on. I thought that was thought it was punk ass shit. And so I did a week of MAGA hats to try and rid myself of any more of those type of people that were following that can't can't even handle other ideas. Like, if you're going to be hateful toward it, then just get out. Get out. We don't need that. And it's not that I disagree with you politically. It's just if you can't handle, like, if God, if I'm going to piss you off with that, I'm going to piss you off with a lot of other things. So, like, you need to have a little bit of a tough skin to be a human being. God, where did that go? And I'm raising my kids tough. I want my kids to be tough. We roast each other. Those kids come back with one-liners faster than I can. I mean, they are so good at it. And I want that. I miss that. I miss that about guys. It's like guys under, I just don't trust a guy under, like, whatever age I am. Pretty much the older I get, it's like the lesser I relate to the youth. But anyway, I have some notes here. I don't want to be misleading. I'm not reading off a teleprompter, but I have some like outline notes. So I'm kind of looking at those and freewheeling, trying to find my direction here because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Probably not going to release this. Probably going to blame Nicole, and that'll be it. But anyway, so I did, because of all this, I did a week of MAGA hats. Yeah, I was trying to piss people off, but the text on the messages was all about love and unity and let's get rid of hatred and love each other. Look past the hat. It was a great message. A lot of people didn't read that. They just saw the hat and got pissed and went their own way. Good riddance. But like I don't know. I did know that it annoyed people, right? People close to me. It's like, why you got to post that shit? And I'm like, I get it. Yeah, it's dumb. Like, I got to get away from this. Now, in no way am I not going to discuss it if it comes up on a podcast, but like, I'm not going to play a show in a MAGA hat. I'm not going to, like, I don't want to divide. But again, I do have my beliefs, and I'm going to stand by those beliefs, and I'll defend those beliefs, and I'll debate those beliefs if you can be civil and we can have a reasonable discussion, just being respectful and listening. But I don't think a lot of people want to listen. But anyway, I'm really trying to limit my posts to positive purposes only. I mean, and I've gotten into it too. I mean, I've found myself like reading these things and like, that bitch is wrong, and I'm gonna educate you, and I'm gonna go on these wars. Like, I found myself doing it, and I was like, this is horrible, this is awful. And then you wake up in the morning angry, waiting to see the responses. It's like, God, this is a sick way to live. Like, this is just like blackening my soul. And so, like, I had to stop. I had to get out of that shit. It was worthless. It was dehumanizing. That's how I would put it. So anyway, yeah, so I just started really being conscious about what I put on the internet. And again, I was new to this, still kind of a child. And I think, I've done pretty well for the most part. Hell, I mean, anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is my biggest problem that I see in a lot of these disagreements is based on bigotry. And that's really kind of the root of it. If you think about what that means, it's really the base of all of it. Racism, homophobia, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the ones that the left hurls at the right that has now made the word mean literally nothing anymore. Nice job with that one. So now we're getting down to base level, which is bigotry, which is hating somebody for a difference in their skin color, their culture, their beliefs, their political beliefs. And I see some nasty shit, man, on both sides. Like, just, and the names, Rethuglicans and libtards, like, what an own, bro. Like, if you're going to use name calling to debate, just, you've already lost. Like, if you go into into an argument, like, with the intent or as a last resort to start name calling, then you've lost, which makes you a loser. Like, don't do that. Don't call names. It's just so hateful. But, like, honestly, I don't think people quite understand this. The reaction to Trump and the nastiness that middle ground people who aren't even into politics, who kind of support Trump, have been called racist, homophobic, and all these names. And it's like, what a ridiculous accusation. You don't know that every single one of the people I see doesn't understand MAGA. They don't get it. They don't want to get it. Every MAGA is different. There's so many. I mean, you got the evangelical right, which I'm not affiliated with. And then you've got the more centrist libertarians, which I am. I have a lot of democratic policies. I find myself very much in the middle. We're a tribal nation now. We've become, I have to believe everything this side says or everything this side says. And if I'm in the middle, then, I'm going to get attacked. And you were attacked. You were absolutely attacked. And what happened was you retreated to Donald Trump. So the people who are freaking out right now literally got him elected by their own animalistic, childish behavior. It was absolutely insane. Anyway, to end that rant, TDS is real, and if your days are spent dwelling on hate for another human being, I really think you need to seek help or seek help. Life's not black and white, and if you're susceptible to propaganda from either side telling you that they have all the answers, you were tricked. Nobody's got all the answers. No side is always right. I mean, we do not have to agree with everything our family says, our preacher says, our political party, but in this day and age, you must toe a party line. You must pick a tribe. Your perfection and the other is completely flawed. What a ridiculous idea, right? That one is all there's a good and a bad team. I mean, I don't even think of terms in left and right. It's a uniparty. It's people who are paid by extremely powerful monetary empires. I mean, there's so much we don't know, and everybody's a goddamn expert now, right? You see a headline and then you post a meme that you don't get the meaning of, but you think that's what the kids like. That's gonna make me look cool to my friends. I just don't get it. I don't get the need for validation. I mean, you could say, yeah, you're doing a podcast. What are you doing that for? Not for that reason. I've talked about it many times while I'm doing it, so I'm not going to explain that right now. But it's just, I think nothing bad can be said about my tribe, and nothing good can be said about the other. It's just insanity. It's here's the way I started doing it. I promote video uploads. I like showing my kids being kids, sharing creative ideas, and anything that just has a positive purpose. Anything that makes somebody laugh. The keys to immortality, if you think about that. And maybe we'll find a way, biogenetically or whatever, but the only way you really become immortal is if you create art, you create something that lives on past you. People like Nikola Tesla, George Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain. I mean, these guys are immortal, right? We're still talking about them. There are versions of the gods to an extent, because they were such powerful figures, because of their creative ideas and who they were. And, it's just so amazing to think about the creative energy that goes into that stuff. And I just think positivity is going to breed success. And so if you think about immortality, which is the ultimate success, the other way in my mind is who your children become. Do they carry on? How many people do you know that are carrying on tons of baggage from their parents, who carried on baggage from their parents? And it's this chain of baggage, right? No, man, you want to send your kids down the road with your best. You need to eliminate the negative things about yourself. If you have kids, and that's really all I give a shit about is my kids, you need to recognize pretty fast that they're watching everything you do, and they are learning from it, and they're going to mimic it, at least for a while, until they get their own style. They have other influences in their lives. They're going to grow and develop. But you, for a long period in their lives, are the male figure they are looking to show them how to be men. Right? And so if you are negative and you're constantly doing negative shit, and there's constantly stress in your life, there's fights with your family, what kind of life, what does that drive your kids to want to do? Go out, shoot heroin, gangbangs? I don't know. I know a lot of kids from a lot of unhappy families that did just that. And I know a lot of kids with happy families who wanted to stay home and have their friends over there. You want to give your, and I've brought this up many times, Audie Overton. He's got 3 daughters, and I just couldn't imagine it, because I know what kind of a pig I was in high school, right? Come on, fellas. I mean, that's all you thought about, right? And it's how do you send 3 daughters to school? And he said, I thought about the good girls that I graduated with, and what made them strong in character. The girls that didn't party and put out and stuff. Not that a little partying is not bad. Everybody's got a little wild oats to sow. Is that how it goes? Fuck, whatever. But he said the commonality there was that they all had dads who were very involved in their life and gave them that love and that nurture, and that those girls wanted to be around their dads, and they wanted to find a man that was like that find that strength, that leadership. Women don't like weak men. I think they do until they completely domineer them, and then they hate them for being weak, which is exactly what you made him in the first place. I've seen it. And that's an aside, really. It has nothing to do with any of this. But it happens. But anyway, yeah, what you are to your children, what you pass down to them, the good shit, that's immortality. Man, Dad used to do this, or my mom used to do this for me, and carrying down those good traditions. Get rid of the bad, keep the good, and then put your own thing on, right? I mean, they are extensions of you out in the world, and they are literally what we create, right? I mean, you think about creation, and both of those things, again, go back to immortality. Music, art, conversation, crochet, baking. I mean, anything that requires your love and attention is you're putting energy into that art, into that ether, right? And those are the things I want to focus on, because I have been, and they've changed my life. Like the comments I see from both sides on these like endless political posts are some of the nastiest side of humanity I've ever witnessed in my life. I'm not even kidding. Like just the most hateful shit that a human being should never ever say to another person. And I'll tell you something. Where are we at here? Yeah, the bigotry. I want to get back to bigotry. Could man, the hatred of people who disagree with you. I see a lot of authoritarianism, and it was really scary during COVID, man. The authoritarians came out. Lock yourself down. We don't know the facts, but the government says, and y'all did it. Y'all did it like sheep. Lots of you. Not all of you. Lots of you did it against your will. Lots of you were terrified and went along with it. And unfortunately, there weren't enough people standing up to it at the time. I mean, eventually the narrative collapsed. It took 4 years, but the podcasters were right. Funny how the, what would you call it? The academic elite, the media have all fallen, and podcasters are ruling the world, and now they're getting criticized for not being the experts. Well, people are listening to them because they're not the experts, because the experts were wrong on everything. I mean, just the idea of dwelling on negativity and hating people who believe differently than you it's not only bad for your own mental health, which is in your control, it's perpetuating bigotry, which is very ironic considering the name some of these bigots call the other side. I mean, half the people posting have no idea what they're even talking about, as I've said before, and they haven't done any research. They don't have a grasp or concept, and they're usually being fed by one side, so they're getting propagandized. You need to listen to both sides. You need to see what both sides are saying, and common sense will eventually win out, which it obviously has in this country. But I find that positive thoughts and positive energy, they will help your mental health and your spiritual experience. I feel like you need to ask yourself sometimes, what is my purpose here? I know we all do that. Why are we here? What if it's just to be positive? Could you imagine if everybody on the earth was just... I know I sound like a goddamn hippie. Who knew the hippies were right, man? That pisses me off. Man, the hippies, right all along. Who knew it? It's love and peace, brother. Love and peace. But, I mean, there's a difference in posting information or articles, right? And then just being hateful and just talking shit all the time. I mean, these topics require conversation with open-minded individuals who are willing to listen to other viewpoints and consider where the other person's coming from. Like, social media is a horrible forum for these types of discussion. That's another reason the podcasts are winning, because they're sitting down and they're talking it out for 2 hours. It's not a, you got 30 seconds on Fox News. You got 30 seconds. Here are your talking points. Here are your propaganda points. No, sit down on a 2 hour podcast and talk it out, and I guarantee you're gonna find some common ground. And that's like I posted a goddamn comment on somebody's idiotic post that was completely wrong. I was polite about it, and then somebody jumped on me, starts talking shit, and I was like, dude, I'm not here for this. I shouldn't have posted anything. If you want to sit down for 2 hours, like, we can do that, but I'm not going to do this. This back and forth. We're not gonna get anywhere. But like, again, like posting articles, that kind of stuff, getting your viewpoint out. I mean, that's all fine, but I think people need to be willing to consider other viewpoints. I mean, as wrong as we've all been about a lot of things, you know what I mean? And you're hiding behind a keyboard and you can't get punched in the face. And then these same people complain that kids are this and that and the other, and you're the one setting the goddamn example for them. What do you think they're going to be like? Your kids observe you. Your kids probably see your social media. They see the stuff that you're putting out into the earth. And so then it's like, shit, well, I don't care if I'm a piece of shit. You know, my fucking parents are doing it. Like, just think about it. I mean, how often do you think about your kids watching everything, man? They're observing everything, and it's going into their DNA. It's going right into their soul, right into whatever makes them tick, whatever cooks them. They observe it in the good and the bad. I've seen it, and I've told the story on a podcast. I used to get mad, and I would punch stuff. You know, like I'd go outside and hit a fucking tree or a car or something. And I punched a lot of hole in drywall when I was a kid. I had to patch a lot of drywall up and fix a lot of doors. Cost me a lot of money living with mom and dad. It's no wonder they didn't really like me. But anyway, I had a bad temper, and one time Max kicked a hole in the drywall, and it changed my life. I was like, fuck. He got that from me. And so then it was like, okay, I need to be positive. And we're not perfect. I'm not asking anybody to be perfect. I mean, we're going to get emotional. I'm fucking a perfect example, man. I mean, I have the negative side too, but I think we ought to have some discipline and try to display it once in a while. I think we've just gotten so used to being so nasty and so negative, and everybody hates everybody. Like, man, just flip the script. Fucking hippies. But I don't know. It's again, I don't think those are the right forums for this in the first place, and a lot of people use it to get clicks. So I think getting out of those political discussions on social media is healthy, and I'm not playing that game anymore, and there's no need to. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of good people out there with good information, and the internet's got a wide variety of people. You know, I listen to people who I relate to. I relate to where they are in their lives, what they look like, what they act like. You know, you can find somebody that that really suits your style, you know, the way they talk, the way they converse, and that shares your viewpoints. You're not going to agree with everybody all the time. At least you shouldn't. If you do, there's probably something wrong. You know, I'd ask yourself, are you questioning, you know, Jimmy Dore is one of my favorite people in the world. He's very liberal, but he's, you know, also kind of a Trump supporter. He calls Trump out on his bullshit, but I appreciate his opinion because he's on the left, but he can at least say some things that are positive instead of just railing all the time. But then there's a lot of things I disagree with him about, but I'm still going to listen to him because I want to hear his viewpoint. But I found somebody that I could, you know, I felt like I could trust, who was doing the research. But anyway, I mean, getting back to kids, like, weird examples they learn from, and some of our kids ought to be outright ashamed of the examples that are being set for them. Like, I just don't understand why anyone would want to spew hate out into the world regarding something they can't control. It's like, what's the Jesus thing? Like, he who is without sin, throw the first stone. So, like, the way I see it, there's a lot of perfect people out there criticizing their brothers and sisters. Like, why do you want to be a part of it? Like, is it bringing something positive to your life? I mean, we don't need any more negativity on our lives on top of the shit that we already have. Like, we were down to one car for a while. Like, the prices are so fucking high. Things are expensive. Money's tight. Everybody's struggling. People are dying in families. People are getting divorced, you know? And I kind of feel like it's passing that negativity on. It's like life sucks sometimes, so I'm just going to go fucking shit on the world and make everybody else eat this shit with me. And we got to get out of that mindset. It's hurting all of us. And we're all keen to blame Trump or blame Biden or whoever the fucking puppet master was behind that guy. We all want to blame these politicians, but like another Jesus thing, get the plank out of your own eye, right? Jesus was a cool dude. Goddamn hippies, man. Keep calling back to them. They were Jesus freaks, a lot of them. But yeah. I feel like we're hurt sometimes. And I'm tired of it. Like I've never really allowed negative people in my life. Like we don't need it in our lives, and I've always cut it out of my life. I've never had a problem doing it because I want my kids to be around positivity. I want family drama. I don't want drama with anything. And so I've removed a lot of that from my life in order to give a more positive experience. And it works. Like I've seen it work. This is what you're doing is you're setting a boundary. You're protecting yourself, right? So even if you don't want to stop being negative, you can at least, well, I think there's a couple things you can do. Stop listening to negative people. Stop being around them. Like, stop tolerating negativity. Like, Trump ain't going to fix things. Netanyahu ain't going to fix things. Putin's not going to fix things. Xi Jinping's not going to fix things. That little fucking scoundrel over in the Ukraine ain't going to fix things. Zelensky. Oh, my God. But we can, I think. I think we can. I think with positivity and changing our thoughts around, I think you can do it. I think you can connect with the universe. I know it sounds fucked up, but I see it all the time. Positive things bring positive outcomes. And I got to scroll my notes down here. I'm rambling on. I can't even figure out how to use a computer. This is so unprofessional, by the way. Can you believe this shit? This is why I'm not known. Anyway, sorry for that. Wish we had a producer. I could go back and edit that out, but there's no way I'm going to spend the time to do that. So you got to fast forward once in a while, or just nobody's listening at this point anyway. But like when I'm posting, I ask myself, like, is this productive? Is it positive? Is it promotional? Oh, the 3 Ps. That sounded real corporate, didn't it? But in other words, like, is this something I'd be proud of? Got another P. Like if my kid posted it, right? Look at it that way. Look at it through the eyes of your children. Look at life through the eyes of your children sometimes. Like, be curious. But think about if they posted it and you saw it, man, like, oh, it's a picture of them and, you know, their kids doing something special, doing something fun. You know, I love seeing families spending time with their kids because you're bonding, you're being good parents. You're preparing them. You know, you're giving them something. They don't have to figure it out all on their own. You're there. That's what parents are for. You know, like, I want my kids to be proud of me and to have a positive example to follow. And I'm not a perfect human being, and I've got plenty of flaws, so I'm not claiming. But I think the difference is that I try. I think a lot of people don't even try. Like, not only do they not try, like, they try to be negative. Like, they focus on negativity. They want you to hear their negativity. There's people I know that You get on the phone and they just start fucking venting, just bitching, just spewing hate, which is going right into your soul, right? And you might have had a good news to tell them or something, or excited to say something, and then you just put down the phone and you say, you know what, I gotta go. And then your day is wrecked, right? Like, you just got shat on with negativity. But that's what it is. I mean, but really, I mean, some of you don't even have kids, and so I don't know what that level of love extends to in your case. But common sense is usually a pretty good indicator, I think. And I think positivity is common sense. See, when you do this by yourself, you just look like an asshole. If you had a guest here, they'd be talking. Maybe I need to get like a, I don't know. I got to do something because this is awkward as fuck. But anyway, but I'm sure, again, like, people don't want to hear shit like this. They don't. They just want to follow that hamster wheel of hate. That was a good one. And live in a world of negativity. But I would just ask yourself sometimes, like, do you want to contribute to try and change it, or do you want to make it worse? Because we are making it worse with our own negativity. We are causing this divide to grow greater and greater and greater and greater. And I mean, I don't care what your opinion is, like, on Trump, but the rhetoric and calling him Hitler all the time. You call a person Hitler enough, and that's an old Goebbels quote, right? You repeat a lie enough, and people believe it. Or he's got a number of good ones that the American government stolen and used. But you call him Hitler enough, and then you act surprised when somebody tries to kill him. And a lot of you cheered it on, man. That was one of the nastiest times I remember. Like, people saying, man, next time don't miss. And like, you're wishing somebody dead. A fellow American who gave up a lot. Maybe it was for ego. Who cares? It really doesn't matter. This isn't going to be a political discussion, but I won't budge on that fact. Of those of you that wished him death, that was nasty. But like, I want to contribute to and try and change things. And if I'm doing the latter, like, ideologues are so extreme and so confident in their beliefs, which are often completely wrong, that it literally becomes part of their identity. So if their idea is challenged in any way, it's an attack on them personally versus like questioning their beliefs. Right? I saw that a lot in Christianity. Like, if you question God, you were attacked. Like, that's my belief. That's my identity. You know, I don't subscribe to religion per se. But I see that. I see that on the left too. If you attack my beliefs politically, you know, they get very, very defensive. They can't talk, and they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear your arguments because they've already been told your arguments are lies, right, by their own propaganda. So unless you can sit down and sit, like, firstly, don't make politics or religion your identity, bro. Like, if you're doing that, you need something else as your identity. Like, that's the last thing I'd want as my identity. Which I don't really get mad. I get mad when people are uneducated and spew their mouth. But, you know, and if I'm wrong, I want to know I'm wrong. You know, and I'd want to be called out on it. I don't know if I was. But, I've met a lot of beautiful people since I started doing this. It's almost been a year, which is kind of hard to believe. We've almost done 100 episodes. And I think this whole thing, I got to scroll the screen again, but this whole thing really started with Nicole. I mean, that's the ground base of it. You know, she inspired me to do this, and then she helped me get it started. Caitlin helped me get it started. That was love. That was positivity, man. They were giving their time and energy to somebody they didn't really know. They just believed in me and believed that I could do it. And, you know, I wouldn't have an intro without Caitlin. I wouldn't have a show without Nicole. I mean, I believe that. That's true. And I'm kind of trying to pay it forward now to the universe a little bit. These have been good for me. And honestly, the only time I really tried to quit was because all the negativity and bullshit online. I got so sick of it and the nastiness, just how hateful people were. And that's when I had to kind of take a step back and, you know, you can unfollow that shit. I was so new. I didn't know. I saw you had to just get on there and be, um, what I call it, I don't know, face fucked with hatred or something, spewed upon you. Whatever. I lost it. I'm losing my whole train of thought. It was a disaster. I gotta delete this. Um, but anyway, no, I've met a lot of beautiful people and had a lot of beautiful opportunities, like meeting Peggy, and she got me in touch with Mr. Chow today, which we're gonna do a podcast. It's gonna be sick. But and they become good friends. I mean, that what a beautiful thing to meet new friends. That you know, I'm not quite, but I'm almost 45, and to still be meeting new people out in the world that are on my frequency. You know, you always think I'm the only weird one. I'm the only one that's like this, and then you meet people. And you're not the same. You know, it's not like meeting a doppelganger or anything. But I tell you, doing it solo sucks. This is the last time I'm ever doing it. I can say I did it, Nicole, but you can't drink beer. Like I feel like I got to be talking. You don't want dead air, right? But I don't have anybody else to pick up the slack. I can drink when somebody else is talking. Here, I feel like I got to talk all the time to entertain, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, I'll leave it at this. I'll do this one and never again. Because I can't. I mean, guys, it's way past beer time, and I'm only on like number 3. So, this is the part of the show where we take a moment to reflect and just think for a minute. Maybe rewind, watch your favorite part, come back. You could do some ASMR. Anybody? Oh. See, Nicole, I said it'd be a complete failure. I'm doing ASMR with a beer can, although that has not come close to the talents of Amanda Lander's beer can drumming. I got to tell this story. I'm going to tell it right now because I've referenced it, but I don't think I've told the story on a pod yet. Her son Dylan is on. Dylan's autistic. I really wanted to meet him. I'm very fascinated with the autistic community. My sister's autistic. She's been on the podcast. Anyway, Dylan came on with his grandma Peggy, and his mom was going to come in later and pick him up. And we'd already had the camera set up, so she came over here and sat and just stayed off camera, but talked and was engaged in the discussion. We just didn't want to stop the show. But anyway, at some point, I'm asking Dylan a question, and he's answering, and she's over there just beatboxing around, bro. Like right in my ear. Like compulsively. Like while this poor child's trying to talk. I couldn't believe it. It's like, madam, can you please slow down on those bongos? But hey, go watch the podcast and you hear it for yourself because it's on there. I don't know the timestamp. If anybody knows the timestamp, please put it in the comments. Because I'm sure as hell not going to go look for it. But anyway, where were we? Yeah, meeting friends, the whole the beauty of like building a community and people all meeting each other. The group podcasts have been fantastic. People coming on and meeting each other. I know a lot of people who have met on the show who are now friends outside of the show, which is beautiful to me because I helped make that happen. You know, and that's synergy. That is synergy, man. Bringing people together, common interests. I mean, putting positivity out there and building a community of positive people. Like engaging in constant negativity and ignoring like the abundant blessings we have really destroys the soul. And I get it. Some people are better off. Some people are really bad off. I get it. It could always be worse. And it makes us angry. We blame others. And we are hurting. So I think psychologically we want others to hurt too, right? I think that's part of human nature. I've been there. And a lot of this I'm saying because I've done all this. I went through all this. I was a nasty person. I was filled with hate, anger, grief, regret. I dwelled on it. And I couldn't move forward. I couldn't let go of these things. I couldn't let go of this blame or whatever it is. And I was finally able to get past that. And I was able to stop being a victim. Because when you're a victim, man, you can never get up, right? You can never get past this. I can't be a famous writer because I didn't go to college, or I can't be a this or that. Fuck. Man, come on. You can do anything you want within reason if you're rich. But, I mean, we do have a lot of opportunities, and we have a lot of blessings. A lot of us do. Yeah, I get it. There's people who are bad off. But honestly, the people who are the worst off sometimes are the most kindest people too. Some of the most blessed people I know are the nastiest, which is kind of ironic to me. But a lot of people don't want to stop being a victim because then they are accountable. There's no one to blame anymore. And I know this because I was that person for years, and I was depressed, miserable, angry, hateful. I mean, once I stopped giving time to negative things that were out of my control and replaced them with something positive, it was like a fog lifting. I stopped blaming people in my past. I can't change the past. I can't control I can control my future. I can't change the past, but I can control what goes on from here. And so when I found myself complaining, it's like, just shift that mindset. Start, man, think of something great in your life, you know. And I'm blessed with 3 wonderful boys that keep me occupied at every minute. I got a lot of blessings. I know I do. And I want to encourage them, and I want to be positive for them. And I have always tried to eliminate the negative people in my life that enabled that behavior and replace them with beautiful people of light and energy that lift me up. We choose our families. I fully believe that. If you have a loving, supportive family, like, consider yourself blessed. Like, that's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it's fantastic. I love it when I see it. But a lot of people stay in these toxic families just because it's family. I've got to go to Thanksgiving, but I hate Aunt Grace or whatever, and so is going to be a bitch, and this, bro. Be done. Be done. All you're doing is making alcohol companies rich. Say no. Why can't people say no? Because it's blood. Because it's blood. I got to do it. Well, kind of depend, right? There's always a limit. It's how much you'll take. Maybe my threshold's low for bullshit. I don't know, but you can say no. I'm going to move these notes again. Let's take a look, folks. I don't even know. How long is this? This is ridiculous. Nobody wants to hear this shit. I don't know. I have to, I mean, I believe the shit I'm saying, but this feels so weird to me that I think we ought to meditate, to be honest. It's the only way we're going to get through this. Deep breaths and a meditation. It's called Holy Communion, folks. But anyway, to put it like in a goth sense, if you're negative all the time, you're literally living in darkness. And if you look at it theologically, light is energy, light is God, light is positivity, right? And so we have light and dark emotions. And so if you're constantly living in the darkness, you got to get out of it. And it is in your control to some extent. I mean, and if you disagree with me, I'd love to have you on to talk about how positivity is a horrible thing. And then That'd be a real interesting conversation. But it's positive energy, honestly, all the time. Lots of people are hurting, going through tough times. You lose somebody. You know, I talked about it earlier. People going through divorce, loss, all those things. I mean, uh, I lost a friend to cancer recently, and uh, I know people whose family members have cancer right now and are fighting battles. I mean, there's negative things in our lives that we cannot control. And when someone is depressed, like, here's an angle I want to show you on this. Like, there's already bad shit in our lives, right? But if we can be positive about it, then man, it really changes your outlook on everything. You know, and I think when you can't control certain things and you're hurting and you go on social media or whatever it is and you're nasty, right? You probably don't like seeing that shit either, or maybe you do. But I see a lot of people constantly virtue signaling about like mental health awareness while simultaneously, I can't even fucking speak. It's the meditation. Simultaneously causing people to be depressed. Like, think about it. Social media causes depression. There's studies out there. Look it up. So at some point, you're putting someone else's misery above your own happiness. Think about that. It's nuts. Like, you're probably making someone depressed by putting this shit out there, and you're okay with it. Like, a little self-awareness goes a long way. Like, I don't know how to teach that to an adult. But like, I want to go back to the thing. Like, I always think, like, would my kid be proud of me posting this? Fuck yeah. Send it. Right? Am I promoting something? Am I putting a song out? Am I doing something productive? And don't use the excuse, well, I don't know how to write songs. I don't know how to direct movies. I don't know how to... Dude, fucking crochet a fish. A lot of you show your goddamn cooking and nobody cares. But hey, it's beautiful that you did something. All right? That's positivity. I roll my eyes at it, but it's positive. I'll even give it a thumbs up because it's positive. But again, the fascination with showing people what you're eating is wild. Nobody shows it after it comes out, though. You notice that? It's kind of wild. I'm going to have to meditate on that one. It's almost time for a segment we call the next meditation. I think I need a pipe to do this properly. I really do. Imagine just sitting there, fucking pipe. Who fucking does that? It looked badass back in the day, man. You see that guy with a cigarette in his mouth and a 6-shooter. Like, what an idiot for not turning the air conditioner off. That was dumb. You can't even hear. You can't even hear. Where the hell were we? We were meditating. I remember that. After the meditation, it gets a little fuzzy. But no, as someone who suffers from depression, like, I can tell you how many times, like, I've gone onto Facebook or something, and it's immediate hateful shit right out of the gate, and it's just like a punch in the gut, right? Like, you want to go on there and, you know, I don't know, hopefully with some positive intent, right? And then there's just shit. And knowing there's so much hate and negativity out there when you're already down, like, I feel like people don't have the maturity to keep the toxicity to themselves. Like, why do you have to ruin everyone else's day? Whereas you could do the opposite and make somebody smile or laugh. Like, we all have the ability to do that in some way. And it's not always easy finding that way. Sometimes it comes to you. Sometimes you got to find it. But there is a way, I believe. But yeah, some of us are okay with it, and possibly okay with pushing somebody over the edge instead of posting something that might lift somebody up who's having a bad day. Might even make that bad day go away. I didn't write that down. That was just natural flow, natural rhyming. You guys like that? Maybe I should do a rap album. A lot of these jokes ought to be not on camera. Got to meditate on that. Hmm. That was a good meditation. A little hint of lime. Actually, there wasn't because I didn't put any lime in it. I don't know where my lime is. But man, I'm right in the middle of doing this. I don't want to get up and get the lime. Like, what an asshole. He's already meditating all over the place. Yeah, it can be much worse, I suppose. No, but I just, man, just think if you got the choice, right? Like, and like I can make somebody's day worse or I can make somebody's day better. Like, why would you not choose the latter? I mean, again, I'm not perfect, never will be. Don't claim to be. Very flawed individual. But I'm trying. I'm not trying to quit drinking, but I'm trying to do a lot of things. And I think drinking's positive. If you just watch the end of the Josh Bostic podcast, I think we sell everybody on the positivity of drinking. I always make sure to mark when I post these videos, no, this is not for kids. So shouldn't pop up in your kids' algorithm, folks, unless they're watching something they shouldn't be, which is on you. I saw this deal the other day. This is like half self-righteous bullshit and just half stories. But I saw this story the other day about something. I'm trying to think of the details. What a boring episode. God damn, now my phone went off. So unprofessional. Let's get back to the self-righteous bullshit. Because, I think we got to meditate again. It's really hard to do. It's like you're reading these outlines and you're trying to get a point across. But you're also like thinking of stories. But all you really want to do is drink beer. And you're wondering how much longer is this bullshit going to go on. At least if you're listening to it, you can drink while you're listening, and hopefully you are. And cheers to you. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. This is Nicole told me. She said, well, she always reads fucking text, doesn't she? Or posts them is what she does, which is highly inappropriate. Nicole, don't do that to people. She's been very helpful today. I told her I was going to do it. Said I'm anxious about it. She said talk about that. Comfort zones and stepping beyond them. All this has been but one big step outside of my comfort zone, which is true. Yada yada. You'll be fine by the end. You won't be able to wait to do it again. That was wrong. You were wrong there. I can't wait to get this over with and never do it again. But she had some other things to say I won't read. But it's all positivity, man. I could talk to her. She was somebody, I don't know anybody else who does a fucking podcast, right? And hers is very different than mine. And she didn't do guests at first. She finally started doing that, and I think it really worked for her. She's really good at it. But I think I won't speak for her, but I recall her saying she initially didn't really feel comfortable with that kind of a format, but she's really good at it. She's great. So she's gotten into my world, so I thought I would do this. And as you can see, it's been a complete unmitigated disaster. This video will probably ruin my life after it goes viral for biggest idiot on the planet. At which point, I will blame Nicole. But I thought, yeah, how much more of this esoteric bullshit is there? Is it like just a little bit? Man. Um, anyway, going back, I don't know. I know I got a lot of fringe ideas. I think there were aliens here, the Anunnaki. Look them up. They're in the Sumerian text, which predates everything else. I didn't say Jesus was an alien, though. I don't know what was going on there. But, like, a lot of those principles, and I'm no Bible expert, but yeah, I read it. I got it, you know? A lot of it's just common sense, you know? It's like love your brother kind of shit. Just do that. Just, just be good to each other. Like, I'm not saying you got to take shit. I'm not saying be a pussy in life. I mean, you gotta have that that harsh side as well. You got to set your boundaries. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your family. But outside of that, when you're out in the world, you know, I just and I'm not saying, dude, it's fun to troll. Trolling's fun. Memes are hilarious. You know, there's a ton of shit of great or a ton of great shit on the internet, but like intent matters. I think like being nasty versus making some jokes. I get jokes, even if it's against my side. I laugh at them. I get it, right? A lot of good memes. Memes make people laugh. I got no problem with memes. I got no problem with a little trolling as long as you're respectful about it, right? Like it's the hard negativity. You can spot it. It's easy to spot. Like, but I guess in closing, because I really need a long meditation. Um, None of us are alone, really. I mean, we might be like some dude on an island trapped somewhere who's like completely alone, like literally nothing or no way to communicate with another human being. But like outside of that guy, we're not worried about him right now. None of us are alone. And if you're hurting, reach out to somebody. But don't seek to hurt others just because you're hurting. You don't have to be like an evangelical to like believe in the red letter stuff, man. I believe in it. Whether or not you're religious, like I find teachings that are about love and treating others with kindness to be pretty valuable and common sense. I don't even know what I consider myself. Um, but it's one of the greatest messages of love and positivity and common sense to me. But unfortunately, his words get twisted and they get used as a weapon by some people, which turns a lot of people away from it altogether. You know, judge people on the content of your characters. It goes back to bigotry, right? A lot of us are bigots, and you're hating somebody because of their belief. You know, I don't believe in a lot of the left wing groups. I'm not going to name them, but like if I see that flag in your bio, I don't hate you. I I might not support that cause, but I don't know you as a person. I don't know what got you there. I don't know what your involvement is. I don't know your story, right? We need to know people's stories before we start judging them. So like seeking to control people, like that whole authoritarian aspect of like, and I know a lot of parents, man. I know a story right now. There's a particular individual I know who has a terrible relationship with all of their children, is divorced, can't imagine why, and refuses to be able to have a conversation because they seek to control your thoughts. They seek to win the argument, right? If you're in it to win it, like you're not going to learn anything. And those authoritative people create monsters. They create broken people. Um, they're not good, but a lot of times they don't realize it. There's no self awareness there. You go back to self awareness. Um, the authoritative state seeking to control, and also that kind of links back to what makes people do that. Some people are hurting. Lots of people are hurting deeply. And I've learned in the last year that I'm not alone. I've had so many great conversations on and off of this podcast that have changed my life forever. But it was through positivity and doing positive things and creating and putting my energy into something positive that gave me this output, right? I poured all my time and energy into this and music. And it's bringing me nothing but happiness. And it could be whatever. If it's bass fishing or whatever you love to do, man, just put your energy and your thoughts into that. And a lot of people do stay out of the nastiness. They just stay out of it altogether because they don't want to get into that fucking sick pool of twisted hatred that we all seem to be so caught up in. Was politics fun? Yeah, it was WWE this last year, but I didn't take it seriously, man. I was having fun with it, and it pissed people off. And then it made me it ruined it for me. I was like, nah, this is, and yeah, I get it. There's gonna be people who say, well, you got to take this fucking seriously. It's the most important thing in the world. No, it's not. My 3 boys are the most important thing in the world. Okay, and I cannot control what they do. Well, you elected Trump, he's going to destroy the universe. Well, my guy was better than your guy, and I'd rather trust him. But now that he's elected, I'm going to get back to my fucking family, my 3 boys, my wife, my friends, why am I not having words? It's awkward. It's gotten awkward now. Activities. We'll say activities. Wasn't the word I was looking for, but really makes me want to meditate. But the point of it is that I thought I was alone for a long time. I was the only one who felt this way, and I was the only one who had these feelings. And I learned real quick that, boy, it's rampant. Lots of people have issues. And people don't trust doctors. People don't want to go see psychiatrists, psychologists. You want to tell them your personal problems. I get it. It's embarrassing. I've been talking to Grok. I've been talking to AI. I've been talking to him. He's been helping me out, hooking me up. It's been fantastic, the feedback you get. And maybe they'll take us over and enslave us and kill us all. But in the meantime, it's been real fun. The images, coming up with the logos, it's been pretty fun. But anyway, in closing, because I've got a meditation coming up real quick, judge people on the content of their character. Like, if you're calling somebody who voted for Trump a racist and a transphobe or whatever, you are exhibiting bigotry, which is the exact same thing you're accusing them of without even knowing if it's true, which makes you the bigot. I mean, it's real simple. Just love each other, exude positive energy. The universe will respond. I guess the thing that pisses me off the most about all this is that the hippies were right. That's it.